Wee Wonders!
Welcome, wonderful watchers, to Wee Wonders, a Wii game review series by me, Souldin of the Grin Brothers. This episode will cover the Wii game Pokémon Battle Revolution, a turn-based RPG battle simulator game developed by Genius Sonority and published by Nintendo. Let's begin playing then! It's Waggle time!
Story time!
Welcome to Poketopia, a theme park island of Pokemon-themed attractions. Those attractions being battling, shopping for clothes, and even more battling. Arriving at this battle-obsessed island is Sprout Trainer Cindy and Novice Nate, a cheery young Gen 1 girl and a gluttonous boy boasting Gen 4 Pokemon respectively. Later on, they are joined by 4 other trainers with distinctively set teams, provided they can get past the gatekeeping Joe. Alternatively, a trainer from the Sinnoh or Johto regions may arrive to take on Poketopia's Colosseums. You! Or whatever you decided to name your trainer in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold or Soul Silver. Regardless of who arrives to Poketopia, the objective is the same. To clear the many Colosseums and their unique conditions so you can take on the best trainers, the Colosseum leaders. From the black and yellow striped Miner, Voldon, to the best dressed Kyogre girl, Marina.
The Colosseum battle is now at its final stage.
She's got such a lovely outfit. I shall be stealing her clothes after this. There's a champion to conquer at their respective Colosseum with their respective rule set. As you may have gathered, there isn't much story to this game. Through trainer titles, you'll learn of the existence of hiking and swimming clubs, with snippets of dialogue revealing character to characters, but not much else. The lovely beaches of the lagoon, health and safety hazards of Magma Colosseum, and the Bastiodon-themed building in the foggy courtyard are purely window dressing for the 3D battle showcases. All your battles are stories though, thanks to the entertaining announcer's commentary.
Instruction time!
As a turn-based RPG purely focused on battles and with no action commands or minigames, the controls are very straightforward. Point and move the Wii Remote to control the on-screen cursor with a click of the A button as your cursor hovers over a menu selecting said option. A tap of the B button is unsurprisingly cancel, and that is everything. Everything is done by selecting menus and saying yes or no, with the only additional controller input I can recall being how you can spin around the character during character customization by rotating the Wii Remote. The mentioned control scheme is Type A's set of controls, but all Type B does is swap around the A and B buttons' functions. Type C, meanwhile, ditches the motion controls, so you can instead move about the menus with the D-pad, select things with the 2 button and cancel with the 1 button. Very simple for all control schemes, and yet somehow I still got confused during the multiplayer mode. I don't know if they mean that I'm supposed to hold it this way or if I'm supposed to hold it this way. I think they mean it... I have no idea who I've picked now as a result. Okay. So I have to do it horizontally, okay. So I've never had to do that before.
How do you know?
I don't. This game can sync up with the Nintendo DS and 3DS families of handhelds, specifically with the aforementioned Gen 4 Pokemon games. For moments using the DS, such as transferring Pokemon or battling against another DS user, the game gets controlled by DS inputs. Aside from the option for selecting menus with the DS touchscreen, the controls are similar to Type C's. D-pad to move, A for confirm, and B for cancel. The connectivity of the DS leaves a lot to be desired over the stable Wii remotes, but part of that may admittedly be due to a cluttered recording room setup. Otherwise the controls work fine, with little room for error or of misinputs and the like.
Action time!
There are many modes to Pokémon Battle Revolution, but they are all in service to its battles, which are a direct pull from the Pokémon series. No travelling or training or even poffin making, it's purely the turn-based battles of type matchups and status effects that the Pokémon series is known for. There are many different rule sets to keep into consideration, from the rules you are able to customise in multiplayer battles to the unique setup of many of the Colosseums, but some key elements are consistent. You'll typically choose 3 or 4 Pokemon from your team of 6 and send them out in 1 vs 1 or 2 vs 2 battles, depending on whether you are participating in a single or double battle respectively. To win, you'll need to reduce all your opponent's Pokemon to 0 HP, to which your Pokemon has 4 moves to help them with this task. Some moves deal physical damage, some moves deal special damage, some moves do no damage but cast various effects, and some moves I forget what they even do. Moves and Pokemon have types, and dust type matchups to keep in mind, from electric being super effective to water, to ground being immune to electric, and ice attacks slaying dragons but not resisting it in any way. Abilities come into play, such as the intimidating bird reducing Pokemon's strength, to held items on Pokemon allowing them to heal health thanks to shell bells. There are many factors to take into consideration. With hundreds of Pokemon, moves, type matchups, abilities, and more, I'd be here all day if I had to explain each and every one of them. Just keep in mind the PP of your moves, watch out for status effects like infatuation and paralysis, and try to feint your opponent's Pokemon before they feint yours. Thankfully, summaries detailing your Pokemon stats, what their abilities do, and even the type matchups of your Pokemon attacks, provided they are a single type opponent, are available. Sadly, no such details are given for the Pokemon's equipped item, so you'll just have to experiment and find out. Experimentation has even led to a Pokemon veteran like myself to learn new things, such as how Healing Wish isn't the same as Wish. Besides, if you're new to Pokemon, a battle tutorial mode listing all the basics is available. It gives examples for the various aspects of battling and even offers advice for advanced tactics that you can pull off or be careful against in your matches. With the basics of battle covered, let's talk about the single player mode, the Colosseum mode. At the start you will only have two Colosseums to choose from, Gateway Colosseum and Main Street Colosseum. Gateway is a rental team only Colosseum where you can take on 6 trainers and their leader, Joe, with one of the characters you already have unlocked, or use a new character for the first time in order to unlock them. Main Street is a plain 6-trainer fight Colosseum led by a Pajirisu dress-themed girl, a nice introductory set of battles that leads to you unlocking more Colosseums. These Colosseums will either be single battle or double battle format the first time you play through them, but completion allows you to play them with the alternative format. It also increases the difficulty of the Colosseums, so each replay becomes tougher and tougher, which is particularly difficult when trying to unlock the new rental teams that you must learn to use for the first time. Poor Joel, forever stuck at the gateway. Colosseums such as Crystal Colosseum or Magma Colosseum merely change up the progression of battles with tournament brackets and round robins. Colosseums like the Sunset Colosseum and Waterfall Colosseum are more unique because of how they affect the rule set. Sunset Colosseum has you form a small team of Pokemon from the same pool of your opponent, even allowing for duplicates, so it's a real test of who can select and utilise a team better. The Waterfall Colosseum is akin to a martial arts team battle, where your Pokemon face off in a set order, winning points per each knockout and aiming to get above the tiebreaker threshold first. You can't switch out, so sometimes you'll luck out with an electric type against a water type, or be forced against a wall with your last hope falling to a Luminion. These Colosseums, body slamming Vigoroths aside, are a breeze on a first run, but the difficulty rank ramps up quickly. It's not so much that the opponents get smarter, but rather that their teams get tougher, whilst the 6 rental teams are a bit of a mixed bag that you have to use. They either try to be jack of all trades and master of none, or are built around specific strategies that you're not informed of. It's much easier to use your own team, though naturally this requires a separate game and time. Which, with a team chosen by my nephew and niece, I did! You copy Pokemon from your DS Pokémon game, the Pi and whole PC box being duplicated, and then make a Battle Pass trainer featuring 6 of those copied Pokemon. You can only link up one DS game per Wii save file, but you can update your storage by copying over from that same DS game, adding new Pokemon and updating their respective Pokemon ID with new moves, items or evolutions since obtained. And naturally in the Pokemon storage, you can check and compare your Pokemon stats, moves and such to make creating your Battle Pass easier. In the Battle Pass mode, you can make multiple Battle Passes, though your stored Pokemon can only be assigned to one Battle Pass each, so choose carefully. You choose from one of many unlocked backgrounds, select from one of 18 character models, and then name your character to make the Battle Pass. From there you can customise your title and the various catchphrases your trainer says, along with customising their appearance with new clothes. Most shirts, trousers, dresses and such are restricted to whether you're a muscle man, cool girl, young or little, but some items along with badges and eyewear apply to all character types. More articles of clothing are unlocked in the shop by completing Colosseums, which is a costly endeavour. The clothes are much cheaper than the mystery gifts though. Teachable moves, evolution items and held items you can buy and send back to your linked DS Pokémon game. You can even obtain Pokémon through this shop, provided you can enter certain passwords in the self-introduction setting. Save mode is also straightforward in being the mode that allows you to save your game. Returning to the Colosseum mode with your custom Battle Pass team, you should find things much easier, taking on the often middle evolution and weak attacks of your opponents with a more balanced and familiar team.
Bye bye, Butterfree!
Whoa, Butterfree barely holds on.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's Paralyzer. Still faster than Turbine, though. Yes, a single Pikachu was clearly such a threat that you needed to put it to sleep with Sleep Powder. I mean, to be fair.
That is, if the team you've sent over were of matching levels. Despite my first impressions of my all level 60 team raising the opposing team to match, level scaling didn't occur when I had a mixed level team, at least for the lower level Pokemon. Whilst amazing to witness my level 20 Pokemon take down a level 46, it certainly made for an unbalanced and timely experience. There are some exceptions that do include equal level scaling, such as the Neon Colosseum's Fortune Battle. In this Colosseum, you and your opponent's teams are placed on a roulette wheel, and you both end up forming a random team from that pool of Pokemon. So, as a result, you can end up facing a team of your own Pokemon, which is both nerve-wracking and thrilling. All Pokemon are set to level 50, I assume to prevent you intentionally sabotaging your opponent with weak Pokemon. Free Battle, the game's local multiplayer, also has level scaling, provided you say as a rule. Battling with either rental or custom battle passes, you can choose any of the Colosseums as your fighting location and customize the fight with various rules. Anything goes and level 50 all are your quick options, but you can make and save for up to 3 rule sets, adjusting levels allowed, held item usage, time for rounds, how specific moves work, and much more. You can then duke it out to see who can form the bear team from the storage box, flinging fossilized ancestors or forgetting how paralysis works with a menu screen that is confusing to look at. It's actually quite clever in how it prevents your same screen playing opponent from knowing what decisions you've made. Thus, you're free to surprise your opponent with unexpected switches or amaze everyone with a rented Cherrim sweep. The other local multiplayer mode is DS Battle Mode, where up to 4 DSs can connect up to the game to witness their 2D sprites battle it out as 3D models. More importantly, you get to see Best Poker Girl Dawn in 3D! You've got access to the unique Mixed Battle Mode, where each player gets to pinch one of the other team's Pokemon, as well as access to the glistening waters and sunny sands of Lagoon Colosseum. The DS screen does well to hide your commands, but keeping consistently connected for an entire match can be mighty tricky. Graphically, the game is a visual treat, working wonders despite limitations and restrictions. The majority of trainers are designed around the 6 models as a basis, and considerate outfit and colour choices have them looking distinct. Locations are lovely with plenty of darker settings to contrast with beautiful beams of light and weather effects. The game's massive amount of animations, from Dawn's flowing scarf to the character-rich movements of the Pokemon and their many attacks, is the big star of the visual showcase. Aside from being loud, I don't have any particular thoughts on the music, but the play-by-play commentary is music to my ears. He adds a fun energy with amusing remarks and a constant feeling of excitement, enhancing both tense situations and the celebration of victory.
Ending time.
Waggle time is over, and the 2 questions left to answer are as follows. What are my overall thoughts on this game, and who do I recommend this game for? Pokémon Battle Revolution simulates incredible battles with enthusiastic visuals and sounds, along with providing fascinating takes on its formula with its single-player Colosseums and intriguing possibilities with its customizable versus rule set. Yet it all feels very restrained, hesitating to include too many unique Colosseums, lacking any entertaining breaks from its pure battling gameplay, and needing an additional DS Pokémon game to unlock its full potential. It's the core fun of Pokémon battles, presented in the best presentation, but after hours spent with the same awkwardly comprised 6 rental teams, you'll be feeling the limits. As for who I would recommend this game for, Pokemon fans are the obvious suggestion. The game does start off easy and does provide most of the info you'll need to understand the game, but its true value comes from owning a Gen 4 DS Pokemon game and having the time to commit to raise a properly leveled team. It also helps that the rewards of gift Pokemon and mystery gift purchases are there to benefit your DS game in a symbiotic relationship. Aside from preaching to the converted, an audience of hardcore strategists and tacticians would appreciate the rapid rise in difficulty and the limited team options that force you to think in new and creative ways. Whether you choose to play the wee wonder that is Pokémon Battle Revolution is up to you, but either way I hope you enjoyed this review and thank you for watching.
That was not a kick, that was a butt bash. Come on, the developers knew exactly what they were doing.
Earthquake tears open the ground.
Thank you for watching. Cheerio!